What up? It's your boy T-Burn Reaction. Turn my light on. So, in case you want, I got the little man behind the ears. You might hear a little bit of music from his tablet. Anyway, we'll tell you Films Friday what a video I came across on my timeline about a timeline TV from Weird History though. So I think I came across a later year, but I thought I want to do this in order to the earliest they have it though. So this is from Weird History called TV Timeline 1990. Everything that happened in TV in the year though. So yeah, so you hear in the background. So yeah, I love watching like stuff, looking at stuff that have to do with like the decades or year in the past, like especially with music or TV as well too. To get to bring back memory of nostalgia, refresh my memory of nostalgia, or see stuff that I never knew happened at the time as well too. In any kind of form of entertainment. So this is going to be a cool one to check out as well too. So without further ado, we want to first look at Timeline TV 1990. Everything happened in TV in the year 1990. 1990, I think I just turned 6. I just turned 6. So anyway, without further ado, let's check it out. 5 going on 6. I was finishing kindergarten and going to first grade. So yeah, let's get it.
All the 4 networks are introducing 34 new series. Millions of dollars, not to mention careers, are riding on these shows.
1990 probably seemed like it would be just another TV season. But while no one could have known it at the time, some super things were on the horizon.
What's happening to me?
In fact, the 1990s were going to be a big decade for the whole TV business.
Wow.
It would see new technologies, new types of shows, and the birth of some of the biggest hits and franchises the medium would ever know. And also a few misses. We're going to take you through all of the TV-related news of 1990 that's fit to print, because this is Timeline TV.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
Man, a lot came out in 1990, I see. Whew.
And children of the 80s need not apply,
America
because
First
this
Pizza
one
Park, hey.
is all about 1990. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel. And let us know in the comments below your favorite TV memories from the 1990s.
Beast.
Now, are you ready to learn what was on the tube the year
Miss
Driving Miss
Daisy.
Daisy won Best Picture?
Wow.
On January 1st, 1990,
The
the
flying
UK's
toast.
ITV.
The flying toast is still shape, but I didn't think it dated in 1990. I guess I thought earlier because you're like UK or international quality look like they quite look a little older than the rest. So yeah.
He aired the pilot of a new show called Mr. Bean. Played by Rowan Atkinson, the character made his debut at the Montreal Comedy Festival Just for Laughs in 1987 and was so well received the series was planned. The pilot was watched by almost 14 million people, launching a series that became a hit in the UK and later in the US. The Fox network launched in 1986,
Hell
but
yeah.
it would take until January 13th, 1990 for one of its stars to be invited to host Saturday Night Live.
Over the past year, both this show and Married with Children have come
Shout out to Ed and Liz, with hanging out with his daughter and with the TikTok though. That's a pretty cool moment right there.
under attack from certain groups for crossing the boundaries of good taste.
That star was Ed O'Neill, who played shoe salesman Al Bundy on the raunchy sitcom Married with Children.
You must learn to treat all people the same.
Even midgets?
If you're too young to remember a time before YouTube, you're probably more familiar with O'Neill as family patriarch Jay Pritchett.
Who would have known? Who would have thought? I mean, why wouldn't we? But still, who would have thought that Ed O'Neill would be like a 2-generation? Always fascinated with as actors and actresses that are like 2-generation stars as well too, based on like their popular TV shows. Because he's popular in the 90s and late 80s and in the 90s with Married with Children, and then became popular again around the 2010s and the 2020s with Modern Family. Though it's pretty cool, man. It's like that as well too. I always said the same thing about Ernest Thomas, who was popular in the 80s, 70s, and 80s with the What's Happening series and What's Happening Now, and then became a popular in the black community way with Everybody Hates Chris with the character I forgot his character name on there, but all I know is tragic, yo. But anyway, and many other people who are like second generation. I mean, and people that I grew up on were like a generation before them as well too popular. So yeah.
On the hit sitcom Modern Family. After being spun off from the Tracy Ullman Show, The Simpsons appeared in a Christmas special which aired in December of 1989. And on January 14th, 1990, they finally got their own ongoing series, which kicked off with the episode Bart the Genius.
Still ongoing. Did it ever ended? I think it's still ongoing, I think. Let me double check. I think it's still ongoing. Simpsons, I think it is. Let's double check. I know, because I realize they don't advertise it as much. Yes, still ongoing since technically 1989, technically 87 will include Tracy Ullman. Still ongoing, literally the longest series of all time. Right, it's probably literally the longest series. Yep, the longest animated series, the longest American sitcom, and the longest scripted primetime series. Wow.
The story, which finds Bart scamming his way into a school for smart kids, would launch the iconic animated sitcom, which is now in its 36th season.
36.
February
Jesus.
17th was huge for Aerosmith
Wayne's
for
World.
2 reasons. It was the first time they were ever invited to be musical guests on Saturday Night Live, and it was the night they would appear on the Mike Myers sketch Wayne's World.
Are those really your lips, or are they lip implants like Barbara Hershey had in the movie Beaches? They mine, man. Bitchin' lips!
The appearance was such a hit, Aerosmith would return to headline the Wayne Stock concert that closes the film Wayne's World 2. On March 24th, Elf, the sitcom about an American family living with an alien life form, aired its 4th season finale.
To Elf, if you ever drop in again, please
And
use the
RP
front
Alf.
door.
He lost Alf.
Love
Not
the
too long.
Tanners.
Crazy, but it was like I think like the year everybody was passing away, and we even lost Alf, man.
The episode ended on a cliffhanger which found Elf being discovered and surrounded by agents of the U.S. government. But the series was abruptly canceled, leaving audiences with one of TV's most notorious unresolved cliffhangers.
Dang, and it's crazy when like good shows ended like that because it got canceled. Like Moesha ended off of cliffhanger because Miles got kidnapped and then it got canceled. Wayne's with the Wayne brothers and all as well too. Yeah, it's crazy like that.
Luckily for fans, that cliffhanger would finally be resolved in Project Elf,
Ooh,
a TV movie that aired on
okay.
February 17th, 1996.
Well, I'd like a nice, big, fat calico, medium rare.
Are you some kind of sicko?
In the movie, Elf squares off with an evil army colonel and is
Marching.
ultimately made an official ambassador to Earth. Sadly, however, none of the actors who played Elf's family on the original series returned.
WrestleMania, the ultimate challenge, live at Sky Dome in Toronto, Sunday afternoon, April 1 at 4 p.m.
On April 1st, the 6th annual WrestleMania was broadcast on pay-per-view from the Sky Dome in Toronto. The flagship WWF event found heavyweight champ Hulk Hogan squaring off against Intercontinental champ The Ultimate Warrior in a winner-take-all event. That winner would turn out to be The Ultimate Warrior, who walked away with both titles. And on April 8th, TV drama would be changed forever when David Lynch's Twin Peaks debuted on ABC. The serialized mystery show, which followed a murder investigation in the eponymous fictional northwestern town, revolutionized the genre and ran for 2 seasons, followed by the theatrical film Fire Walk With Me, and a series reboot in 2017 that featured most of the original cast.
Wow.
35 years later, on January 15th, 2025, Lynch would pass away at the age of 78. The revered director of films like The Elephant Man, Blue Velvet, and Wild at Heart had been suffering from emphysema, brought on by smoking cigarettes, a habit he claimed to have acquired at just 8 years old. April 15th was a great day for comedy because it's the day In Living Color debuted on Fox. Led by Keenan Ivory Wayans, the mostly African-American sketch comedy series, which featured Damon, Kim, Sean, and Marlon Wayans, would briefly give Saturday Night Live a run for its money.
Who are you? I am the Minister Louis Farrakhan.
And lost a lot of careers, including most of the Waynes, as well as Jim Carrey and Jamie Foxx and many others.
while also launching the careers of cast members like David Allen
Davis,
Greer
yep.
and Jim Carrey. And May
Jamie
4th
Foxx.
would bring the final public appearance
I guess they said that because Jamie wasn't on part of the first season. That's why.
of Muppet creator and performer Jim Henson. Henson
yeah.
appeared on the Arsenio Hall show, along with his most iconic character, Kermit the Frog.
Now there's a new member of the band. Can we talk about Clifford? Yes, Clifford. Clifford is our newest member of the band, and he's absolutely great.
The two shared the couch
Oh,
with
yeah?
fellow Muppet performer Kevin Clash and the Muppet Clifford. Tragically, Henson would die from toxic shock syndrome due to a bacterial infection just 2 weeks later. On May 12th, stand-up comic Andrew Dice Clay guest hosted Saturday Night Live. The appearance from the controversial comedian, who played a misogynistic and racist character, drew protests, including from SNL cast members like Nora Dunn, who refused to appear on the broadcast. It also caused the scheduled musical guest, Sinead O'Connor, to back out of the show. Just 2 months later, the Dice Man would shock audiences by showing off his sensitive side on the Arsenio Hall show. While promoting his movie, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, Clay broke down in tears over criticism that his routine was racist and sexist by claiming it was all just a joke.
And anybody that doesn't like it can wipe their ass with whatever they say about me.
The appearance, however,
And he's still in his own way. He was emotional, but in his own way. But wow, I did not know that. I did not know that. Like I said, this stuff that I remember, this stuff I did not know about, like stuff like that. Like the whole that was wow. That she didn't want somebody didn't want to appear on a show because of him. That's crazy. R.I.P. Sinead Carter as well.
did not do much for his movie, which bombed. May 17th was a tough day for Kelsey Grammer. The Cheers star, known for playing Frasier Crane, was sentenced to 30 days in jail for driving while intoxicated in Van Nuys, California.
That's why he got all this going on. Wow.
He would serve just 14 days of that sentence, but later in the year he would be sentenced to 90 days of house arrest in connection with a 1988 charge of possession of cocaine.
Jesus.
Then on July 5th, the sitcom Blossom, starring the future Big Bang Theory star Mayim Bialik and teen heartthrob Joey Lawrence, debuted on NBC. The pilot, which featured Bialik as Blossom Russo, a teenager who lived with her father and 2 elder brothers, was well received and would debut as a regular series on January 3rd, 1991.
Fun fact about this, a couple fun facts. One, supposedly Myers was actually older than Joey Lawrence as well too. You know, he played the older brother. I heard, or they were the same age, something like that. Ain't the first time, cause you know, Fan Matters. Eddie Winslow, the one who played Eddie Winslow, Darren McCray was a couple months younger or 2 younger than his actress, his younger sister, Kelly Shanae Williams, who played Laura as well too. And I heard that the first theme was originally going to be Bobby Brown's My Prerogative, and then they changed it to the old infamous theme they had later on.
And on July 12th, Alaska got a new doctor when Northern Exposure debuted on CBS. The quirky drama followed Joel Fleischman, a Jewish MD from New York who found himself paying for his medical school debt by working it off in the tiny fictional town of Sicily, located deep in the northern wilderness. The series, which would be showered with critical acclaim and awards, became a major hit and ran 6 seasons. Johnny Depp got his big break in 1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street, but he cemented his celebrity status by starring as Officer Tom Hansen on the Fox police procedural 21 Jump Street. The show followed a squad of undercover cops investigating crimes in teen-heavy settings like high schools. It became a major hit, but on July 16th, Depp made his final appearance on the series. He would, however, very briefly reprise the character in the 2012 21 Jump Street movie.
You want to wear a fake nose on your head for like months on end? Worst things in the world.
Roseanne Barr is famous for a lot of things, but her singing voice isn't one of them.
Oh yeah. Really? What was she thinking? Nah, she didn't care.
That's why it struck many as a strange choice when she was invited to sing the national anthem at the Reds-Padres game of July 25th. Barr's screeching rendition, which ended with her spitting on the pitcher's mound, drew swift reactions from the crowd.
Yo.
And surprising no one, she was subsequently vilified for it in the press.
Of
Several
course.
of the Padres said they thought her
Ain't the
performance
first time. I guess she ain't the first time she got herself vilified for it. You know, reason why the condoms happened without her, because you know.
was a complete disgrace.
In 1990,
Yes.
rapper Will Smith was in trouble with the IRS and desperately needed money. To right the ship, he decided to sign on to play the title character in the NBC sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
These are my partners in the law.
And it was sure about, and no cap about that. That was the reason why he did, part why he did it though, because the album in this corner didn't do too well, so and that caused that didn't, and they put a lot of money in the production as well too. So yeah, that was so that caused the reason why he was in the IRS as well too. The part reason why. I remember the story. It did like a behind the scenes because this leading up to his this is around time he released the William album, and he was talking about that. Yeah.
Firm of Earth, Wind and Fire.
R.I.P.
Hey, Earth, Wind and Fire. When's your next album coming out?
The show debuted on September 10th, and despite the fact he had no prior acting experience, it became a massive hit. The series would run 6 seasons, and Smith would go on to star in a series of hit movies. And just 3 days later, on September 13th, Law and Order debuted on NBC. The ripped from the headlines stories would quickly make the show TV's definitive police procedural.
You see a guy with a birthmark on his face?
Look at the cat.
The game is finding
Look at the cats back then.
and he's to blame.
Silky.
This is way before we got like well-known members of it as well too. You look like you had Mr. Biggs from Sex and the City in this.
Now in its 26th season, became one of the biggest franchises in history, with no less than 6 separate spin-offs.
We gotta catch up on this new season too.
When it comes to documentaries, Ken Burns is about as legendary as they come. And while his career started way back in 1981, his big break came on September 23rd, when his 11-hour miniseries, The Civil War, debuted on PBS. Among other things, the groundbreaking series would give the world its first look at the Ken Burns effect, a way of panning and zooming the camera over still images that came to dominate the documentary filmmaking of the era. Have you ever been watching a police procedural and wished it had musical numbers in it? Well, if so, you may have loved Cop Rock. Debuting on ABC on September 24th, the series, produced by LA Law's Stephen Bochco, turned the LAPD into a musical performance troupe worthy of Broadway.
I'm the baby merchant. Tots are up.
He's guilty, Judge. He's guilty. You could see it in his eyes.
If you don't hook people in 30 seconds, you know you're dead in the water.
The show was a critical and commercial failure. And
Yeah,
was quickly
I
canceled.
bet.
Then, on October 4th,
we
Fox
go.
changed teen drama television forever
R.I.P.
when it broadcast the
Shannon
debut of
Doherty
Beverly
and
Hills
Perry.
90210. In addition to spawning a slew of spin-offs, the trend-setting teen soap would run 10 seasons and launch the careers of Jason Priestley, Shannon Doherty, Jenny Garth, Brian Austin Green, Tori Spelling, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, and Luke Perry. Hot off the success of the film Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Pee-wee's Playhouse debuted in 1986 and became a huge hit. But by 1990, star Paul Reubens felt burnt out playing the character and informed CBS he would be ending the series to take a sabbatical. The final episode aired November 17th, just 8 months before Reubens would be arrested for indecently exposing himself while watching a film at a porno theater in Florida. And on November 18th, ABC would air the first episode of a 2-part adaptation of Stephen King's It. The Emmy-winning miniseries would star well-known actors like John Ritter and Harry Anderson, and would feature Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown. Despite the acclaim the TV version received, Hollywood would return to the well in 2017, when it released the first half of a 2-part theatrical film series based once again on King's It novel. Directed by Andy Muschietti, the film would feature Finn Wolfhard, Jaden Martell, and Sophia Lillis. And this time, Pennywise's clown shoes would be filled by Bill Skarsgård.
But they was both that and Chapter 2 did good, man. I enjoyed, and I'm glad they kind of went against the story about keeping Mike active through the movie, because he's always supposed he got taken out by the bully being possessed, whatever. And for a minute, but yeah.
finally, on November 26th, Fox broadcast the first ever Billboard Music Awards. Sponsored by the music industry publication Billboard, the awards differed from similar shows like the Grammy Awards because they were given out based on album and song sales, radio airplay, and touring success, rather than being based on a vote. They continue to be awarded every year to this very day. So what do you think? What was your...
I do have... Ooh, that'd be interesting. I want to check out my own... everything that happened in the year. Oh, we got another one happening. Everything happened in the year 1990. I guess we can. I'll check that out another time as well too. But definitely. Well, that's like an interesting one. Check out the late night talk show wars of the 90s as well. That seemed interesting. But this was a cool video to watch as well too. A lot of memory and a lot of things I didn't know about. And, you know, just to hear about this wall too. Other than that, though, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Shout out to Way History. It's your boy T-Per signing off. One love.